Hello and welcome to the Sourcing and Selling module. I'm your coach, Monique Nicole, and I'm excited to get started and dive into this module. This is really going to help you to learn how to source the right products for your clients and learn the art of selling. So let's dive right in. So, our focus today is going to be on three key areas in this module, which include the art of selling and sourcing via e-design versus full service, and creating your sourcing repertoire. So let's dive into the art of sourcing and selling. So sourcing and selling, okay, there's three key factors that I want you to consider when you're sourcing, okay? Those three things are: what types of furniture and accessories will you be selling? What size budgets and projects will you be working with? And how quickly will your clients need your items? Okay, those are the three main areas that you want to factor in when sourcing for products. Now, there are 8 steps that I recommend to selling effectively as a design professional. And I'm going to talk you through some of these, okay? So, the first is creating a lead generator, right? So, creating something on your website or in social media to help you to invite people to book an initial consult. Okay. And remember that initial consult is not the paid one, it's just your initial call to help really kind of vet and weed out, any clients or prospects that are not your ideal client, but also to be able to identify the ones that are. The next step is to connect with prospects on the initial consult and then identify if they are the right fit, right? So, like I mentioned, we want to almost have like that little mini interview to make sure that they're the right fit. And then after that, you want to offer your paid in home consultation service or your e design virtual consult. Okay. And then after you've done that, then you're going to send a follow up email and request to fill out your questionnaire before the consult. Again, we want to do that data gathering, get a good understanding of their preferences, their design vision, so that when you do the consultation, the paid one, you're already clear on what they're looking for. And so you're going to conduct that in home consult as the next step, and then share your signature design service and solution first, and then any other services based on the client's needs. So, you may have some add ons that they may want or that maybe you might want to recommend. And then you want to close the deal, right? We got to ask for the sale. Okay. And then you want to send the contract and the proposal to approve and sign and then get started. Okay. So this is kind of like your selling process, right? I know we've been talking a lot about processes, but this is your selling process to really get them to become a client. All right. Now let's talk a little about e-design versus full service. So when you're offering e-design, here's a couple of things to consider. Typically, the client wants to design a space quickly, so like under 3 weeks, right? They want something pretty turnkey. Also, with e-design the client is typically located out of your local area. So a lot of times it's because of logistical reasons that you can't do an in-home consult, right? And you can't work one-on-one directly with them. Another consideration is that maybe they want to handle the ordering and install process themselves. And this is, very common now with people who are doing their own DIY projects or DIY, excuse me, projects. And so, some clients may want to do that, and e-design will help them or allow them to do that. Also, another consideration is if they have a smaller budget and they just don't want any custom products, right? So they're okay with maybe buying via retail products and they don't want anything, too custom. Or maybe they're too busy to meet for consultations in person, right? I've experienced this where I've had, high level executives that I've worked with, and they've maybe been in my local area, but they just don't have the time to like meet and have all the meetings and allow me to, get into their home and all of that. And so they actually prefer to do everything online. And then sometimes they may hire me to come out and do the install, or they may have someone that can do it for them. Okay. Now, when to offer full service is when a client is not in a rush and to have their home design and they've got all the time in the world and it's not a rush, they just want it to be done right. Another consideration is if the client is located within about 30 miles of your home, or excuse me, of your office, and of their home, so that it's not a long commute for you and they have the opportunity to meet in person. Also, if they want to handle, or want you to handle, excuse me, the entire design process. So they're like, I don't want to have anything to do with, taking measurements and installing everything. Like, I don't even have to worry about that. That's a good sign that full service is going to be the best option for them. Or maybe they do want custom pieces. They want a custom sofa. They want a specific color, or they want to, customize their window treatments. This is also a good indication that full service is going to be best for them. And then also, if they have a healthy budget of at least 20K, okay? Anything under 20K really is going to fall into the e-design bucket, but anything over 20K, typically you can pull off full service for them. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about when sourcing, right? Here's some more options, or things to think about when you're thinking about, okay, do I offer full service or e-design? So for full service, you want to have a white glove delivery company to receive, inspect, and deliver your products. This is very important, okay? When you have decided you're going to do offers full service to a client, you want to make sure that you have a place for their products to go, right? Once you've ordered them. You don't want to send it to their home, and you don't want to have to be receiving at your home or your office unless you have a receiving, warehouse set up in place and have someone to be able to inspect the items, receive them, and assemble them if possible, if needed. You also want to mark up your products between 20 and 30%. Okay. Product markup is a great additional revenue stream for your business. And so you want to make sure that you are incorporating that into your business and marking your products up. You also can become more creative by offering custom products, right? So you can get really creative and really, push the limits on your design, designs that you're offering your clients. So think about how, obviously, with the client's consent, think about how you can do that. You also have longer design and lead times. Okay, so this is something to keep in mind. Typically, if you're buying via trade, you may have, longer times or lead times to get products. You also will need to create proposals, invoices, and purchase orders and status reports for your client. Okay, so there's a lot more logistical things that goes into managing a full service project. And so you just want to be mindful that these are things that you're going to need to create and manage and make sure that the client is aware of. Now, full service is also great for building your portfolio of work, because if you're doing all of this and you're, creating custom products and things like that, this is great because you can have this photographed, right? And then you can use that to market your business. Now, with eDesign, there's no need for managing white glove delivery because you're not managing the ordering process, right? The client will be doing that. So that is one key differentiator for eDesign. Also, it can be difficult to make money on product sales unless you work with an affiliate or a third-party wholesaler like One Side Door that allows you to create product links that your client can purchase the products on their own. Okay. Now, One Side Door is one option. And then obviously, like I mentioned, if you work with affiliates, you can create those links and then mark up your products. But it can be challenging sometimes to, mark up products that are basically being sold online via retailers. Also, you are pretty much limited to retail product options because, they are going to want fast turnaround times. They're also going to want to be able to purchase the products themselves, and they can't do that via trade-only vendors, right? Because they only sell to designers. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, eDesign comes into play if they want shorter design and product lead times. Okay, so that's typically an opportunity and advantage for eDesign projects. And then you'll only need to create a concept board floor plan, 2D board, and shopping list. Okay. So a lot of the other, like maybe 3D options or design boards and things like that, you don't typically always have to do via e-design, even though I recommend it. But some of the other more complex things, typically you won't have to offer. Okay. So now let's talk about creating your sourcing repertoire. So there are different types of product vendors, right? And here are the top ones that I want you to be aware of. So the first is a retailer, right? So retail stores like, William and Sonoma or CB2 or different things like that. Wayfair that allow you to purchase products on behalf of the client via a retail store. The other is third-party vendors, so buying companies. Okay, these are buying companies that have partnered with all of the major trade-only vendors and allow you to source products all in one place. These are a game changer because it saves you a ton of time, money, and typically you can find products that are very competitive in pricing, and you can get the lowest prices at wholesale pricing, which in turn allows you to mark them up and create an additional revenue stream for your business. So it's a win-win across the board for you and your clients because you're also able to, get your clients great quality products at the lowest prices and allow them to customize products if they choose to. The other option is through trade-only vendors. So this is where you would create one-on-one relationships with, direct furniture manufacturers and just purchase directly through them. Okay. And then last but not least is affiliates. And this is if you want to resell retail products and mark them up. Setting up affiliate accounts can allow you to do that. So again, depending on what type of business you are building will depend on what type of vendors you're going to be sourcing through. Okay. My recommendation, however, is that you really focus on purchasing through third-party vendors. I would say that's the best option because you can actually, unless you're doing e-design and the client is purchasing themselves, you can really source some really great products and create, again, that additional revenue stream for your business. All right, so now that you are well versed with sourcing and selling and, figuring out how to choose the right products and how to market those products, I want to invite you to get started in the module and go after it. And I can't wait to see what you come up with, what vendors you're going to be using, and how you're going to be sourcing your products for your clients. I'll see you soon.